Hello, gay child, and welcome to r/Am I the Antagonist, or Am I the Asshole, whichever way you want to put it. I switched it at one point for monetization reasons, but sometimes it doesn't seem to make a difference, so I don't even know what to do anymore. But I put out a little, question asking people what kind of content they were looking forward to, and AITA, Am I the Asshole, was one of the top things that people suggested, so I'm coming through. I'm looking forward to getting back into some of these predicaments or whatever. So, yeah, let's do it. Also, full disclosure, I did not sleep the night before making this video, so thank you, Animal Crossing, for that, and if I sound strange or seem strange, that's definitely the explanation. Let's get into it. Am I the antagonist for laughing at my starstruck girlfriend? Last year, my 22 male girlfriend, 23 female, won a radio contest to briefly meet and take a photo with one of her favorite K-pop groups, NCT. She was super excited since I guess you would call her a superfan. I definitely feel like she's too old to put too much stock into K-pop, but I generally don't talk to her about it since it's pretty harmless, just annoying. She was told that she could bring a +1 with her to the station to meet the band, and so she took me with her. Even in the car, she was so excited that she was shaking, and she kept saying that she wasn't sure she could do it. I didn't care either way, I just wanted it over with. The meeting was honestly nothing special. All the band members said hi to her and shook her hand or offered her a platonic hug. She cried for most of it, awkward, and kept bowing to the members. She's white. And while I didn't say anything, I was so embarrassed for her. Some of the guys also shook my hand and greeted me, but a few of them didn't, probably noticing that I wasn't really into it. Whatever, it wasn't for me, it was for her. I'm not a fan. She has some other friends who are also K-pop fans, and when we all hung out together, she started talking about how wonderful and surreal it was to meet her idols. I then started laughing and telling her friends about how awkward she was, how she bowed to all of them despite none of them bowing to her, and made a joke about how they probably laughed at her once she was out of earshot. Complete silence. Immediately everyone is death glaring me. I try to clarify that she was acting crazy for a 23-year-old. I even looked up the band, and half of them are teenagers. And she reiterates that she probably made them feel less awkward than me, who didn't even talk to them. What the hell, was I supposed to talk to a bunch of Korean guys I don't know? We ended up arguing about it privately, but it's been a sore spot and we just don't bring it up. She barely even listens to K-pop around me now. Fast forward to now, a year-ish later. My girlfriend just bought 2 NCT tickets for her and her friend, which were very expensive and include yet another fan meet. I mentioned buying a ticket so I can go along with them, not to the fan meet though, and my girlfriend said she'd rather me not go because she doesn't want me to be bored or embarrassed. The way she said it was so cold, for absolutely no reason, and I feel like she's being so passive-aggressive over a joke that I made ages ago. Am I the antagonist for laughing at my adult girlfriend's teenage fangirl antics? Not gonna beat around the bush on this one, dude. You're kind of a douchebag for doing this. I think you need to work on trying to empathize with your girlfriend and put yourself in her shoes, because although I can't relate to being a mid-20s person that's very interested in a Korean boy band of teenagers, she sounds like she was acting exactly like how I acted the first time I met, Taking Back Sunday when I was 16. It was like my idols were right in front of me and I was shaking, I was nervous, I was, stumbling over my words and stuff. It's a big moment. Imagine, if Michael Jordan was your favorite basketball player and he was your hero and you got to meet him, or Dave Chappelle was your favorite stand-up and you got a chance to hang out with him or something. It's a cool thing, and you totally killed the vibe, and I hope it didn't ruin it for her entirely, but the entire thing is, tarnished now, and as long as she's with you, she's going to, be thinking that her interest in K-pop is somehow a joke or super goofy, and, I know K-pop stans can get out of control, but this is completely unrelated to that, and, yeah, you did not do a good thing here, man. You gotta work on yourself. Am I the antagonist for telling my wife she can't have her dream job because I refuse to be burdened with all of her student debt? Throwaway. My wife and I married young at 23, and now at 27, she's about to graduate from law school. The issue is she has a ton of student debt, around $195,000 from both undergrad and now law school. But over the past year, she's completely changed her mind about law and becoming a lawyer. She now wants to teach and do Teach for America after graduating. She told me this past week. We've talked about this at length, and she wants to do this because it's her new dream job. Previously, it was law. I'm upset because if she teaches, her starting salary will barely clear $35,000 in the first few years, and we live in a really, really expensive city. She has no intention of going back into law later, as well as she says law school was a mistake. Last night we were talking about the future, and she mentioned our plans to have kids in a few years, and how she'd like to be a stay-at-home mom in a few years as well. I looked at her and asked how she thinks we're going to afford that when we've got nearly $200,000 in debt on my one income. She got mad and said I'm trying to use her debt to postpone major life events, like having kids. We ended up fighting, and I told her she can't just teach if she expects me to be saddled with her debt as a result. I said she should at least work a high-paying job for a few years to repay a good portion. She said I'm prioritizing money over her happiness, and that she's disappointed in my lack of support when they would be my kids and my life as well. Am I the antagonist to tell her that if she goes down this path, I may need to rethink our marriage? I haven't said anything like this yet, but I am thinking it. Based on her timeline, she'd only work for 3 to 4 years before becoming a homemaker. I'd have $200,000 worth of debt to work through completely on my own, and I don't know if I can do it or if it'll completely ruin the rest of my life. Am I the antagonist to say this? So, just no, you're definitely not the antagonist for wanting to say that. I do think there might be more options. I think that her heart's in the right place wanting to do Teach for America. It's a non-profit thing, like, she's definitely not going to be living a glamorous lifestyle. It's weird that she only wants to do it for a few years, though. Like, that's where it gets really strange. Like, you just end up with all the responsibility here financially. That is $200,000 in her debt. Like, I know when people get married, they combine their finances, but, like, she's the one that racked up that debt, and now she's expecting you to foot the bill when she's perfectly able to work a job. Like, that's ridiculous. Like, obviously this person knows their situation better than me, but, like, if I were in a situation like this, just based on what I've read here, maybe before saying we need to rethink our marriage, I'd go with something like, hey, if you want to do Teach for America, we can live pretty much anywhere. It's a nationwide program. Maybe we don't have to live in San Francisco, Boston, New York, LA, wherever expensive city you're currently living in. Like, you could live somewhere more rural, a little bit cheaper, so that you can get by on a lower salary. But at the end of the day, that's her debt, and she's just not willing to pay it back, which is a huge red flag. Also, not taking finances seriously before having kids is a huge red flag, so it's definitely something to address before you move forward in your relationship, and it's just going to be a rude awakening for her if she actually wants to live a realistic life. Oh god, am I the antagonist for banning my brother from bringing his Indian GF to my wedding? Title sounds very bad and horribly racist, but let me clarify. You better start explaining, dude. So my brother, he's 25, has been dating an American-born girl to Indian parents since last year. She's 23. Her parents do not like their relationship because he's white and probably prefer her to find an Indian man. He has been trying to gain their approval but failing, and from what he said, they continue to shrug him off and actively exclude him if she tries to bring him to their family events. This has annoyed me because my brother is one of the nicest people I know. In the meantime, I proposed to my girlfriend, and we're sending out invites to everyone. I came to the difficult decision that since his GF's family will not accept him, we will not accept her. I talked it over with my girlfriend and told her how strongly I feel about this, and she agreed. I didn't want to spring this up on her, so I asked his GF if we could meet up, and I sat down with her and explained that in good conscience I could not invite her to our wedding if her family cannot accept my brother, and I essentially boiled it down to, if they don't want my brother, we don't want you. I told her she will be banned from all of our future family events until something changes with her parents in regards to my brother. She got upset about it, and this caused a huge divide in my family. My brother obviously is against it, but I wanted to do it out of support for him. Other relatives agreed this was the right thing to do, but I've been seeking judgment from outside my family to gain a clearer perspective if I was being an asshole in making this decision. Edit. I just want to clarify to all posters that I am not doing this to punish her or her family. She still hangs around her family a lot, and given that her family is disrespectful to my brother, I feel that makes her toxic, and I do not want toxic people at my wedding. If she disowns her family, then she can come. Okay, holy shit. I cannot tell if you're just really, really stupid, or if you think you're good at manipulating people because your family is stupid, so you think you can manipulate people through this post to agreeing with you here, because this makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. Yeah, the girl's family is not in the right either, but she's caught in the middle of this. You know, she has the people that are her blood relatives. It's really hard to, like, just disown your family like that and just cut all ties with them permanently. Like, that's a huge decision to make, and for you to just say, like, yes, we're just going to stoop right down to her family's level and disown her from our family is just a mess. It's completely stupid. You just prove that your family and you are just as bad as this girl's family, even though you're trying to claim the opposite. So, yeah, very, very silly logic here. This makes absolutely no sense, my dude. I would like to give a major shout out to Miss Inked, Hyper Ninja Child, Jared D, Regrettable Stitches, Allison B, For Jared, Connor G, Cryptid Fennec, Kaya Bay, Tasha K, and Catco for being top tier channel members. Thank you everybody that supports the channel in any way, whether it's, you know, joining or whatever, buying merch, or just watching videos and commenting on it. It means a lot to me that anybody is involved with this channel whatsoever. It's so cool to have you guys here, so I appreciate that from the bottom of my heart. I hope everybody's doing super well out there, drinking water, skating on to the best of your abilities, and I'll see you super soon. I am going to go to bed now, so peace out, Cub Scouts.